At the beginning of this drama, we see a scene at a radio station. Currently, the radio program isn't doing very well. Just then, a girl arrives who makes some changes in the script and gives it to the host of the radio show. Well, she calls him DJ. When the DJ reads the script, the show becomes very successful. Everyone at the station is happy, but the girl who made the changes in the script is not happy. This girl is the female lead of our story, and her name is Hina. Hina is both the producer and writer of this radio show. Everyone else was happy, but Hina didn't look happy at all. The scene changes. It is nighttime and raining heavily. In such rain, Hina, completely drenched, is walking toward the building carrying her things. The guard stops her and asks, "Madam, where are you going?" Hina says, "Oh, I live in this building." The guard replies, "Ah yes, now I remember. But the guy who always comes with you, he didn't come today." Hina becomes silent. The scene changes. Hina has returned to her home. Actually, the guard didn't recognize her because she always stays at her boyfriend's place. Her boyfriend's name is Kang. Kang is extremely busy with his work and never gives Hina any time. Hina remembers when she told Kang today that she wanted to talk to him. He still said he was very busy and would talk later. Hina even told him, "If you don't have time for me today, then once you leave, I will leave too." Yet Kang didn't stop to talk. That is why, after many days, Hina finally returned to her own home. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see a traditional herbal clinic where Dr. Rihoen is treating a patient. Rihoen is our main lead. Rihoen calls his friend and asks why she hasn't come home for many days and what happened. Then we find out that Rihoen's friend is none other than Hina. Hina tells him she is at her own home. Rihoen asks if she ate the kimchi he sent. Hina says yes, she ate it, and it was very good. Hearing this, Rihoen tells her to come meet him. He wants to give her some herbal medicine. Hina says she doesn't have time and refuses. But Rihoen doesn't stay quiet. He goes to Hina's aunt's restaurant. Hina frequently comes there because the restaurant actually belonged to her dad, and after his death, her uncle and aunt have been running it. As Rihoen expected, he finds Hina there. He stops her and asks, "What's going on? Why aren't you staying at your home? And you didn't eat the kimchi I gave you. Show me your pulse. Are you feeling unwell?" Hina says, "Why are you acting crazy? I'm perfectly fine, and I did eat your kimchi." Rihoen says, "Really? Then tell me which kimchi I sent you." Hina says, "You sent me radish kimchi." Rihoen replies, "Stop lying. I sent cabbage kimchi, not radish." Yet Hina still doesn't tell him anything about her breakup. Rihoen keeps asking. He is so worried about Hina that the next day he goes to the radio station to ask about her. He asks, "Are you okay? Tell me." Hina says, "Please leave, I'm very busy. Our DJ's cat is sick." Rihoen says, "But your DJ has a dog. Where did a cat come from?" Hina says, yes, it is a dog, but its name is Cat. Our DJ named it." Hearing this, even Rihoen gets confused. Anyway, he had come there to give Hina some medicine and told her to take it. But Hina insists he leave and accompanies him to the elevator. As soon as the elevator opens, Hina gets shocked seeing an auntie. And Rihoen calls that auntie Mom. Here we know that she is Rihoen's mother. Rihoen tells his mom, "Mom, have you also come to meet Hina? Go talk to her, I'll go get some coffee." But Hina becomes extremely nervous seeing that auntie. Hina remembers when her parents died, her dad's friend, who is Rihoen's father, brought her to their home. Since then, she grew up with Rihoen's family. But Rihoen's mom never liked Hina. Even now, she asks, "Do you two still meet?" Hina nervously says, No, auntie. We don't meet anymore. He just came today to meet me about some work." Nervous, Hina quickly changes the topic and says, "I heard you arranged a blind date for Rihoen." Auntie says, "Yes, after a lot of difficult, why I set up a blind date for him, and I want no problems this time. Take care of everything and just show everyone the same thing you've shown since childhood, that you two are like brother and sister." Hina agrees and says yes to auntie. Now the scene again shifts to the radio station. Today again there was some problem in the show, so Hina changed the script at the last moment. She had nothing else to say, so she wrote her breakup story into the script. When this script goes on air, Rihoen also hears the entire show. Now he finds out about Hina's breakup. He becomes very angry and goes straight to Hina's house. He asks her why she didn't tell him about the breakup. "You were going through such a difficult time and still didn't tell me anything?" Hina says, "Yes, I broke up. Now please leave." But Rihoen continues asking her who that guy is who even forgot her birthday. Actually, Rihoen doesn't know who Hina's boyfriend is. He says, you didn't celebrate your birthday with us because you wanted to celebrate it with that guy, and he forgot your birthday. Tell me who he is. After being asked repeatedly, Hina tells him Kang's name. Just then she remembers that she left her mom's bracelet at Kang's home. Now Rihoen becomes furious and picks up a stick. He asks, how crazy were you in his love that you even forgot such a valuable bracelet of your mom there? Tell me the address, I'll go bring it. Hina gives him the address, but tells him not to go, saying she will get it herself. But Rihoen insists, no, I will go. Although Hina clearly refuses him, Rihoen leaves the house, but thinks, I will bring the bracelet myself. He reaches Kang's place. Kang also doesn't know who he is and asks why he is there. Rihoen says, return our bracelet. Kang asks who he is. Rihoen replies, Hina sent me. He even SC-solds Kang properly and then starts looking for the bracelet inside the house. Not only does he take the bracelet wrapped in a bedsheet, but he also gathers random things around it and brings everything back. Kang is left shocked as Rihoen leaves with the whole bundle. Now, after bringing back a whole bundle of items, Rihoen starts worrying, thinking that if Hina finds out, she won't spare him. The next day, we see that Rihoen lives in a very big house. He is very rich. Actually, his mom is very rich. She is the director of a big hospital. But Rihoen does not work in her hospital. He has opened his own small clinic. His mom tells him to behave properly on his date this time. Rihoen says he always behaves well. His mom replies, where do you behave well? You always call your blind dates to your small clinic, and then you act in such a way that the girls get scared and run away. In the next scene, we see Rihoen's date. As usual, he has called his blind date to the clinic. This girl's name is Hong Yi-seol. Yi-seol is a dentist at the hospital where Rihoen's mom works. Rihoen, as always, is not at all interested in the date and continues focusing on his work. But Yi-seol starts liking the side of Rihoen. She actually starts liking him. After the date, Rihoen is completely focused on the bundle he brought and how he will give it to Hina. Finally, he gathers courage and goes to Hina's aunt's restaurant with the bundle. He opens it and shows her the things, saying he brought all her stuff back. Hina says, are you stupid? This charger, this bedsheet, why did you bring all this? These aren't even mine. I told you not to go. And you keep running after me like this. What do you think your mom will think? Rihoen says, why would my mom think anything? Hina replies, all these things you do. Do you think I like it? Not at all. It suffocates me. Now, even Rihoen doesn't stay quiet and says, if you feel suffocated, then go back to that guy. That rotten trash suits you better. They fight and Rihoen leaves. Later, when Hina goes to the radio station, she runs into Kang. Here we find out that Kang is Hina's boss. He is the director of the radio station. They both ignore each other and leave. Meanwhile, Kang is sitting with a friend. His friend says, if you like a girl, would you forget her birthday? You should have at least taken a cake. Actually, Kang loves Hina, but doesn't know how to express his feelings. He understands his friend's words and realizes his mistake. He buys a cake and heads to Hina's house. On the other side, Rihoen is also worried that he fought with Hina. He buys her favorite fish cake and heads to her house as well. Both men encounter each other downstairs. When Rihoen sees Kang holding the cake, he realizes Kang is going to Hina. Still, he asks him where he is going. Kang says, it's none of your business. Rihoen stops him and says, you can't go upstairs. Kang replies, as far as I know, you're like her brother. So why is it a problem for you? Kang ignores him and goes upstairs. Rihoen bows his head and even pleads, please don't go upstairs, but Kang doesn't listen and enters Hina's home. Seeing this, Rihoen stops and goes back. But in the next scene, we learn that Kang didn't actually give the cake to Hina. He is just sitting and staring at the cake. The scene changes. The next morning, Rihoen's mom calls Hina to the hospital. Hina agrees to meet her, but when she reaches the hospital entrance, she starts trembling with fear. Then the reason is revealed. Both Hina's parents had cancer, which caused their deaths, and since then, Hina has been extremely afraid of hospitals and checkups. It seems the auntie had called Hina for a full body checkup because she was afraid that Hina might develop the same illness her parents had. But just like always, Hina does not enter the hospital and returns from the entrance. On the other side, ever since the fight between them, Hina and Rihoen hadn't spoken to each other. So Rihoen calls her, but Hina is not answering his calls. Just then, Rihoen gets a call from his blind date, Yeseol. She calls him to meet her. The scene changes. Rihoen goes to Hina's aunt's restaurant, and the aunt also calls Hina there to end their fight. Seeing Hina, Rihoen teases her, saying she must have partied a lot yesterday and eaten cake nicely. Hina says, "Did you send me a cake yesterday?" "I didn't get any cake." Rihoen says, "I didn't send any cake." Hina replies, "I didn't buy any cake either." Rihoen realizes that Kang never delivered the cake. Hina says, "Forgive me. I shouldn't have said all those things to you." Rihoen says, "It was my fault too. You told me not to go, so I shouldn't have brought that whole bundle of stuff from there." Their misunderstandings are cleared up. But just then, Yeseol arrives because Rihoen had called her there. Rihoen introduces Yeseol to Hina, saying that he and Hina are childhood friends and grew up together. "Actually, I'm like her older brother, and she is like my younger sister." But Yeseol feels they don't look like siblings at all, because both of them were only talking about each other. Night scene, Hina goes drinking with her radio station friends, and Rihoen goes drinking with his own friends. Yeseol also joins them. One of Rihoen's friends drinks too much, so Rihoen goes to drop him off, and Yeseol also leaves along with him. Meanwhile, Hina starts thinking about Kong and drinks too much. She calls Yeseol and says, "Big sister, I bought cheap fish for you. Come take it." Yeseol realizes that Hina is drunk and goes to her. Hina keeps calling her big sister, which Yeseol doesn't like at all. Right after Yeseol arrives, Rihoen also comes because Yeseol informed him. As soon as he comes, he picks up Hina and puts her in the car. Then he apologizes to Yeseol, saying she got troubled because of Hina. But Hina gets out of the car again, gives the fish to Yeseol, and puts it inside her purse. Poor Yeseol's expensive purse gets ruined, but she can't say anything. Hina waves goodbye and leaves happily, while Rihoen keeps apologizing to Yeseol. Hina goes straight to the radio station, plays music in the studio, and falls asleep. Kang, who was still working at the station, hears the song and goes to check. He sees Hina sleeping. Meanwhile, Rihoen also sees Hina's car outside the station and calls her, but Kang picks up the phone. Rihoen asks what Hina is doing at the station. Kang replies, "She's sleeping right next to me." Hearing this, Rihoen gets furious and tries to enter the station, but the security guards stop him because he is not an employee. Still, he somehow makes his way upstairs. Hina wakes up and is surprised to see Kang beside her, asking what he's doing there. Just then Rihoen sees them inside the studio. Kang deliberately takes Hina to the side so that Rihoen can't see them properly. Since it's a studio, no sound can be heard from outside. Rihoen angrily shouts, asking them to open the door, but Kang doesn't. Inside, Hina keeps asking Kang what he is doing. Rihoen gets so angry that he pulls the fire alarm. As soon as Hina opens the door, Rihoen pulls her towards him and punches Kang, asking what he was doing. Kang punches him back, saying it looks like Rihoen has lost his mind. Kang leaves. Rihoen is also angry at Hina for being with Kang. Both of them come outside the building. Rihoen tells Hina to sit inside the car. Hina says she'll go on her own, but Rihoen angrily says to sit quietly. He asks if Kang misbehaved with her. Hina says he isn't that type of person. Rihoen says he doesn't like Kang at all. Hina quietly sits because Rihoen is very angry. Later, Hina goes to stay at her friend's house. And even after going home, Rihoen can't stop thinking about the scene. He can't stay home and leaves again, going straight to Hina's friend's place. He calls Hina to the park. Rihoen tells her, "Forgive me. I know I said too much. Do you still like Kang?" Hina says, "Who said I like him? I really want to break up with him. I don't like him anymore." Rihoen says, "Should I help you? Like we used to do in high school." Back then, whenever they wanted someone to stay away, they would lie that they were dating each other. Hina says, "Okay, if you want to help, then do it. Actually, a while ago I got scared of your anger." Rihoen says, "Really? Let me check, are you feeling sick or something?" It had already happened, so he started checking her, but then both of them looked at each other and felt awkward. Anyway, in the next scene, Rihoen is shown with his mom. His mom was asking about Yeseol. Rihoen says, "Yes, she came to the clinic a couple of times, once to meet me and once to show her foot." But then he suddenly starts talking about Hina. Auntie asks him, "When I'm talking about Yeseol, why do you keep bringing up Hina in between?" Auntie says, "I don't like that girl at all. First of all, she looks sick, and she doesn't even come to the hospital for checkups." Then Rihoen says, "Mom, Why do you think she's sick? Even if her mom and dad had cancer, that doesn't mean she will have it too. But Rihoen's mom says, I'm scared for you too. Stay away from her. I truly don't like her. Rihoen gets angry and says, Mom, you're a doctor. What are you even saying? It's not some viral disease that will spread like that. He gets angry and leaves. On the other side, Kang had called Hina to his office. Hina says, what work does a director have with a writer today? Actually, Kang had called her to talk about their personal issues. But Hina says she doesn't want to talk about anything personal and leaves. But Kang follows her to the terrace and says, you're upset with me because I forgot your birthday, right? Everything else was fine. Hina says, nothing was ever fine. I was never important to you. Your work was always more important. You didn't even know when I was sick or when I was fine. Kang says, you knew from the beginning how serious I am about my work. You used to be okay with it earlier, so what changed now? Hina says, I can't tolerate it anymore. So thank you for everything till now, but everything ends here. And she leaves. Next, it is shown that Hina accidentally dropped her phone in a taxi today. Meanwhile, Yeseol had come to Rihoen again for her foot checkup. Later, Rihoen tries calling Hina for some work, but the phone is answered by a police officer because the taxi driver submitted the phone to the police station. Rihoen immediately leaves for the police station. Yeseol says she can drop him there. Rihoen goes with her. At the police station, Rihoen tells the officer, I'm Hina's friend, so please give me her phone. The officer refuses. Rihoen says, I'm not her real brother, but I'm like an elder brother. The officer says, your relationship isn't clear. Are you her friend, her brother, or something else? How can we give you the phone? Just then, Kang arrives because he also found out the phone is at the police station. The officers know Kang because he's the director of the radio station, so they give him the phone without asking any question. Rihoen says, I've been asking for the phone for so long, but you didn't give it to me. Why did you give it to him? Kang takes the phone and starts leaving. Rihoen says, give the phone to me. Kang says, the officers themselves didn't give you the phone, so how can I? They're right, your relationship with Hina isn't even clear. What are you to her? Her elder brother. Rin says, if the relationship isn't clear, then let's make it clear today. I'm her man. Now give me the phone. They're arguing when Hina arrives. Kang says, did you hear? He said he's your man. Hina says, yes, he's right. We're dating. Then she says, and if you want this phone, keep it. She starts pulling Rihoen away. Rihoen says, at least let me take the phone. But Hina says, just hold my hand and come quietly. We have to act like this. Then Rihoen says, listen, do you really want to get rid of him? If yes, then don't be surprised, I'm going to do something. He suddenly kisses Hina. Kang and Yeseol both see it and get shocked. Hina pushes Rihoen away. After seeing this, Kang gives Hina her phone and leaves. Yeseol also leaves. Rihoen tries to talk to Hina, but Hina says, stay away. I'm going to my friend's house. She goes to her friend Taehai's house. Taehai sees that Hina brought spicy food and is eating a lot. Something is wrong. She asks, tell me what happened? Even Rin called asking about you. Hina says, today Rin and I had a fake little kiss. Taehai asks, what is a fake kiss? And if that happened, how are you sitting so calmly? You should go wash your mouth. Rin is like your elder brother. Hina says, he's not my real elder brother. Taehai says, that's what I've been trying to explain to you. He isn't your brother, so why are you so stressed? Next day, Rihoen comes to the park again to meet Hina. He says, you must be cold. Here, wear my coat. Hina says, no need. Stay away. Rihoen says, what happened? Why are you pushing me away? Is it because of yesterday? Are you feeling something? Hina says, don't joke. I'm serious. Rihoen says, I've been serious for a long time too. What are you feeling today? I've been feeling for so long. And you never noticed. He says, just once, look carefully at your. On the other side, Rihoen's mom had been feeling dizzy for a few days, so she went for a checkup today. On the other side, Hina was sitting in a restaurant, thinking about Rihoen. Rihoen also came to the restaurant, but he called her from outside. Hina starts leaving, but Rihoen says, sit there. I know you're going through a breakup right now, so you can't think about me. But once you get over this breakup phase, think once about me and those feelings. Hina leaves. Next, it is shown that Yeseol had clearly seen that day that Rihoen liked Hina. But still, today she reached Rihoen again, pretending her foot was hurting. Rihoen tells her, your foot is completely fine. Then why did you come here? Yeseol says, Since you treated my foot, I was thinking, can we go on a dinner date tomorrow? Rihoen says, it seems I gave you the wrong signal. I want to make something clear. Hina is not my sister. I've liked her for a long time. Yiseol says, why are you saying this? Can't I like you? Do you not like me because I'm not thin and beautiful like Hina? Rin says, what are you saying? You'll find someone much better than me. But I cannot like you because I've liked Hina for a very long time. Just then, Yiseol gets a call and becomes worried her grandfather was unwell. So Rihoen goes to drop her home. Here we learn that Yiseol is the heir to a huge company and is extremely rich. All the boys who ever came into her life only came for her wealth. No one liked her sincerely. Rihoen was the first person who behaved kindly with her without knowing about her wealth. That's why Yiseol's heart broke badly. She had started liking Rihoen. Meanwhile, ever since Rihoen told Hina to think once about those feelings, Hina had been thinking about him, how Rihoen had always taken care of her since childhood. She couldn't understand these feelings. Right then, Hina smiles and goes to Rihoen. She tells him clearly, you said to think about those feelings, right? So let's do one thing. Let's go on a trial date. You'll understand what those feelings are. They go on a date roaming, eating, drinking, and Hina really enjoys it. Somewhere inside, she also realizes that she likes Rihoen too. Their trial date continues the next day, and the day after that. Meanwhile, Yiseol told her brother Jinho that she likes Rihoen, but he likes someone else. Jinho says he will talk to Rihoen. The next day, Rihoen and Hina are still out on their date. Seol keeps messaging Rihoen to meet, but he keeps ignoring her messages. Today, Rihoen asks Hina why she is so scared of his mom. Hina says, actually, I really like your mom, and I'm scared of hurting the people I like. A past scene is shown. Even in childhood, when Hina and Rihoen went on school trips together, Rihoen's mom would make excuses and call Rihoen back home. She never liked Hina and Rihoen being together. Once, Hina had even overheard Auntie saying she didn't want Hina around them at all. That's why Hina always knew that Auntie didn't like her and didn't want to see her with Rihoen. So she always stayed away from Rihoen. Hina tells Rihoen, you and Auntie are the only family I have left. I don't want to lose my family. That's why I always ran away from my feelings. Rihoen stands up, gives her his hand, and says, you don't need to be scared. You can hold my hand. I won't let go. This time, Hina holds Rihoen's hand. Finally, they get into a relationship. When Rihoen drops Hina off at home and returns to his own house, someone is waiting for him. The man says his boss, Jinho, sent him. Rihoen goes with him and meets Seol there. Rihoen says, your brother Juno called me. Seol says, he called me too. He'll be here soon. Rihoen apologizes to Seol for not replying to her messages because he was busy. She says it's okay. Then a guy arrives and says to Seol, so is this an engagement party here? He looks at Rihoen and says, oh, so you're also after this girl's money? Otherwise, who would marry someone who looks like her? He starts insulting Seol. Seol tells Rihoen to ignore him. He was her ex-boyfriend who only wanted her money. But he keeps talking badly about her. Rihoen is about to teach him a lesson when Jinho arrives and teaches the boy a lesson himself for insulting his sister. Scene changes. Jinho and Rihoen talk alone. Jinho thanks Rihoen for helping his sister the day her grandfather fell ill. Rihoen says there's no need for thanks. Jinho says, my sister likes you. I want her to marry whoever she likes. Rihoen says, I think you're misunderstanding something. My relationship with Seol is not like that. Then Jun says, but I will marry my sister only to the person she likes. For the first time, my sister has dreamed of something, so I will definitely make it come true. Rihoen is shocked hearing Jinho's words. Meanwhile, Rihoen's mom's test reports came, and the doctor told her that she has dementia. She is truly shocked to know this. Even after taking so much care of her health, she still got dementia, and now she will slowly forget all her memories. On the other side, unaware of all this, Rihoen and Hina had gone to their aunt and uncle's restaurant. Seeing them this close, aunt and uncle also understand that something is definitely going on, and today they also realize that both have started dating. After this, Hina's uncle, just like her dad, asks Rihoen whether he will be able to take care of Hina or not. Rihoen says, Uncle, don't worry. I'll take good care of Hina. But Uncle is still a bit worried about Rihoen's mom. He asks, but what about your mom? Rihoen says, please don't worry. I'll convince my mom, too. Meanwhile, other side, Seol was trying to move on in her life, and today she even went on a blind date. But there she kept remembering Rihoen again and again, and she saw Rihoen in everything around her. After that, she couldn't control herself and went to Rihoen. She tells him, "I tried a lot to move on, but I can't. I see you everywhere." Then Rihoen says, "Then you should wait a little. I'm sure your Mr. Perfect will come for you too." Hearing this, Seol starts crying. On the other side, Rihoen's mom was so shocked that she walked out on the road while thinking, and then suddenly she forgot the way. She panicked, but she took someone's help and asked them to call Hina. Hina comes to pick her up. She brings Aunt home, but she too is shocked. How could Aunt forget the way to her own house? Aunt says, "You don't need to think too much, and especially don't tell Rihoen anything." Hina asks, "But Auntie, what happened to you?" Aunt replies, "I have dementia." Hearing this, Hina is extremely shocked. Aunt clearly tells Hina Rihoen should not know about this at all. Just then, they hear Rihoen's voice, so Hina hides there so that Rihoen won't see her. But when Rihoen entered, he had already noticed someone else's shoes at the door. He asks his mom why she didn't pick up his call since morning, when she had been. Aunt lies that she was busy. Then Rihoen tells his mom that he and Hina are dating. Aunt says, "This is not possible. You cannot date Hina." Rihoen says, "Mom, what is your problem? Why have you disliked Hina since childhood?" Aunt says, "I don't want to hear anything. I said you two cannot be together, so you cannot. And you should marry Seol immediately." Rihoen says, "Mom, what has happened to you? I love Hina, so how can I marry Seol? And why are you in such a hurry for my marriage?" Aunt says, "I don't know about today or tomorrow. That's why you must get married soon." Hina, hearing all this, starts crying badly. Rihoen leaves angrily, and Hina also leaves crying. She felt very bad that because of her, her mother and son fought. Thinking and crying about all this, Hina gets dizzy. Kang passes by and sees her. He brings Hina back home and even calls Rihoen there. When Rihoen arrives, Kang tells him, "If you can't take care of her, then don't act like you can. All the days she stayed with me, not once was she in this condition. And you don't even know what happened to her today." Rihoen says, "Move aside, let me meet Hina." Kang says, "1 minute. I haven't called Hina's boyfriend here, I've called you as a doctor. Otherwise, I wouldn't even call you." Kang leaves. Just then, Rihoen receives a call from Hina's friend Tae-hee. She says Hina wasn't looking well today and Rihoen's mom had called Hina to meet her. She asks what happened. Now, when Rihoen hears this, his mind spins. He remembers seeing someone else's shoes at home. That means Hina heard everything between him and his mom, and that's why she was so shaken. Rihoen becomes angry at himself. He takes care of Hina. Next morning, Hina regains consciousness, but Rihoen doesn't ask her anything. Later, he drops her off at the radio station. Hina then gets a call from Kang asking her to meet him. She meets him and thanks him for helping her. But Kang has some other motive. He asks her to give him another chance. Hina clearly refuses, saying she is with Rihoen now. On the other side, Rihoen's mom wanted to get him married quickly with Seol, so she went to meet Seol. She says, "You marry Rihoen soon." But Seol says, "Rihoen doesn't even like me, forget marriage." Then Aunt tells her, "I don't have much time. I will forget everything soon." She tells Seol everything about her condition. Meanwhile, Rihoen goes to the hospital to meet his mom, but he meets her doctor there, and the doctor tells Rihoen about his mom's condition. Rihoen was deeply shocked after finding out. He couldn't believe that in such a condition, he had argued so badly with his mom. He felt extremely guilty, and because of this, he drank too much. In that terrible state, he wandered near Hina's house. Hina saw him and brought him inside her home. The next morning, Rihoen told Hina everything about his mom's condition. Now both of them knew exactly what Auntie was going through. Hina kept indirectly telling Rihoen that Auntie wouldn't be happy seeing them together, and they shouldn't make her sad in this condition. Rihoen tells Hina not to talk like this for now, and he clearly forbids her from thinking about their breakup. In the next scene, Hina goes to meet Auntie, but her restaurant auntie is also there. Actually, she is Rihoen's mom's friend. She tells Hina not to meet Rihoen's mom right now, otherwise, Auntie will feel more upset. So Hina sits outside. There she sees Seol also arriving to meet Auntie, and Seol goes straight inside. After some time, when Seol comes out, she sees Hina still sitting there waiting. She feels bad for her and goes to talk to her privately. Hina asks Seal how Auntie is. Seal says she has found a doctor who might help improve Auntie's condition. It's true and can't be completely cured, but she could live longer. Hina asks, is this true? Seal says, can I tell you something? I want to set my pride aside and say this. Please disappear from Rihoen's life. Hina is shocked hearing this. Seal said it, but she instantly regretted it and started to leave. Hina says, wait, can Auntie really get better? If she can get better, then I'm ready to disappear from Rihoen's life. But Seal doesn't respond because she is feeling guilty. She didn't actually intend to say those words. After this, Hina's entire focus was on Auntie. She couldn't even concentrate on her work. Taehi noticed her worry and later she told Kang everything. Kang understood that Hina was upset only because of Rihoen and his mom. Kang goes to meet Rihoen and says, Hina is extremely troubled because of you and your mom. I tried asking her for another chance, but she refused. She's already been hurt a lot because of me, and I don't want her to suffer because of you and your mom, too. Rihoen begins to think about this. Both Rihoen and Hina knew that their relationship was being strained because of Auntie's condition. But still, neither of them had broken up yet. Meanwhile, Seal's mom tells her, how long will you hold on to this one boy? Look at these pictures and marry one of them. But Seal clearly refuses. Next, we see that Rihoen's entire attention is now on his mom's illness. He is only taking care of her. But one day, when Auntie wakes up from sleep, she fails to recognize Rihoen. She says, brother, who are you? What are you doing in my house? Throw this stranger out of my home. And where is Hina? She only remembered Hina and keeps calling her. At the same time, Seal's mom was fed up and said, you won't marry anyone else, so I'll have to go talk to him myself. She goes to Rihoen's clinic and creates a scene there. Seal has to come to apologize to everyone, not only for her mom's behavior, but also for what she said to Hina. Rihoen asks her, what did you say to Hina? Seal tells him that she had to break up, and only then would she help with Auntie's treatment. Rihoen becomes very angry and says, please don't show me your face again. And don't come here. Seal stops him and says, but your mom wants you and me to get married. Can you marry me for your mom's sake? Rihoen tells her to remove her hand and walks away. Meanwhile, Rihoen's mom was repeatedly calling for Hina. So Hina's aunt calls Hina and tells her to come. When Hina arrives, Auntie scolds her lovingly, checking whether she is taking her medicines on time. Auntie gets anxious whenever Hina goes out of sight, constantly calling for her. Poor Hina couldn't even focus on her radio job because she had to keep running back to take care of Auntie. And Rihoen didn't even know how troubled Hina really was. Auntie then sends Hina to the hospital to bring an important file. Hina is scared of hospitals, but thinking of Auntie's health, she goes. As soon as she enters, she starts feeling anxious and then collapses. Her phone was ringing with Kang's call, so Kang found out she had been admitted to the hospital. Kang calls Rihoen and makes him come as well. Then King scolds Rihoen badly. Look what has happened to Hina because of you and your mom. She is completely torn apart. She can't focus on her work, and she can't even take care of herself. If you can't take care of her, then why don't you break up with her? Seeing Hina's condition, Kang's words keep echoing in Rihoen's mind. Then Taehi calls and tells him the same, that Hina is not well at all. She can't focus on her work, and she is just running around because of his mom. After hearing all this, Rihoen decides that he will break up with Hina. Later, he goes to his mom and says, I will never meet Hina again. That day, Auntie remembered her son, but now she had forgotten Hina. She says, it's been ages since Hina came to meet me. She never comes to see me. When in reality, poor Hina had been visiting her every single day. Auntie says, come here, my son. Let me hug you. Rihoen hugs his mom and cries. Anyway, moving forward, Rihoen had called Hina to meet him in the park. Hina asks Rihoen, how is mom's health now? Rihoen says, you don't need to worry about my mom, because she is my mom, not yours. Hina says, what are you saying? Rihoen says, we should break up. From today, forget that my mom or I were ever a part of your life. For you, from today, we are dead. Hina says, what happened? Why are you talking like this? And where did this sudden breakup even come from? Rihoen even goes as far as saying, if you try to meet my mom or me again, I will break all ties with the people you still have relationships with. Hina asks, what is wrong with you? Rihoen says, I want you to live your life like before and forget us. Hina says, don't do this. I won't be able to live happily without you. She even holds Rihoen's hand, but Rihoen pulls his hand away and starts leaving. Rihoen himself was crying badly, and Hina started following him. She says, "Stop. Don't leave me like this." Rihoen says, "Are you crazy? Why are you coming after me? I told you not to follow me, so don't." Rihoen also begins crying heavily. Now we are shown a flashback. Rihoen remembers how, in childhood, he would often stay at Hina's dad's restaurant. Hina's dad always used to tell him, "Hina is your little sister, so always take care of her." Hina's mom had already passed away from cancer, and Rihoen's dad had also passed away. His mom was always busy in the hospital. Since that time, Rihoen and Hina have become very good friends. At that time, Rihoen's mom also liked Hina and took great care of her. The four of them lived like a family because Rihoen's mom liked Hina's dad, and she had accepted Hina as her own daughter. But one day, suddenly, Hina's dad also passed away from cancer. This was a huge shock for Rihoen's mom because her dream of a perfect family broke that very day. After that, she noticed that Rihoen and Hina might be developing feelings for each other. So she started keeping them apart because according to her, Hina was like her daughter. Later, Auntie also became very worried about Hina's health because both of Hina's parents had died from cancer. So here we learn that Rihoen's mom did care about Hina, but she couldn't bear to see Rihoen and Hina together. The story returns to the present. After the breakup, Hina and Rihoen started living their lives separately. Hina completely drowned herself in work, while Rihoen focused entirely on taking care of his mom. His whole nature changed. The smile that once used to be on his face was now completely gone. Now we are shown the story a few months later. Hina has started going to the hospital, and not just that, she even started taking therapy from a psychologist to completely overcome her fear. One day, months later, Hina and Rihoen unexpectedly run into each other. They were on opposite sides of the road. Rihoen starts walking away, but Hina shouts, "Stop right there. Listen to me." She tells Rihoen, "I'm not the same scared girl anymore. I have started going to the hospital. I don't fall sick like before. I take all my medicines and vitamins on time. I'm learning to drive. I can take care of Ani now. I won't be a burden on you." Rihoen listens quietly but doesn't say anything. In his mind he wonders, "Are you eating properly?" Somehow Hina hears it and replies, "Yes, I eat properly and on time." "You tell me, do you eat properly?" Rihoen says nothing. He just looks at Hina, gets emotional, and leaves without saying a word. Next we see Seol, who had come to meet Rihoen's mom. She apologizes for all her past behavior and all her mistakes. Rihoen forgives her. Then we see that Hina can't hold herself back anymore and goes to Rihoen's house to talk to him. At that moment Rihoen tells his friend, "I'm leaving." But Hina says, "Stay right there." She says, "When my mom passed away, everyone said I wouldn't survive without her. But I had my dad, I wasn't alone. Then, after some time, my dad also passed away. Again, people said, how will she live alone? But that time, you and Auntie were in my life. Even then, I wasn't alone. Staying with you, all the darkness in my life disappeared. But today, when both you and Auntie have left me, darkness has returned to my life. And now, yes, for the first time, I am truly alone." Saying all this, Hina leaves. After she leaves, Rihoen's friend says to him, "What are you doing? You said you separated from her for her happiness, but look at her. Does she look happy? You're making the same mistake your mom made years ago, by leaving someone alone." Rihoen realizes that by separating from Hina, he is only hurting her. Then he runs straight after her. He gets on the bus right next to Hina. He goes and sits beside her, and then he holds Hina's hand. Both of them become happy. Rihoen takes Hina home, and Hina asks him, "You'll come tomorrow to meet me, right?" Rihoen smiles and says yes. Hina becomes happy. The next day, Rihoen is taking Hina to meet his mom. Hina is nervous and asks, "Will Auntie even recognize me? I haven't met her in many days." Rihoen says, "Don't worry, Mom will recognize you." And truly, when Auntie sees Hina, she recognizes her and happily hugs her. Later, Rihoen and Hina make a plan to go on a family trip. The whole family is very happy together. They also celebrate Auntie's birthday there. Rihoen's mom's health wasn't very good. Sometimes she would forget things completely. But now everyone together was taking care of her. In the last scene, we see Rihoen teaching Hina how to drive a car. Hina keeps making mistakes again and again. Rihoen scolds her, saying, "You lied. You don't know anything. You're still as scared as before." Hina says, "So what? Why are you shouting? If I don't learn today, then in 1 year or in 2 years, I will learn." Now Rihoen tells all of us, life's problems are still the same as before, but now we share them together and we try to solve them while staying happy together. With this, the explanation of this drama is complete. Friends, if you liked the explanation, please like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you very soon.